All right, warbands here, Human Torch, Silk, and Spam. Photon Boss, Unduped, Mantis, or Valkyrie. Doom, Quicksilver, Cassie, Titania. Dani Moonstar, Omega Sentinel, Nimrod, Mangog, Quicksilver, Cassie, Titania, Sasquatch, Quicksilver, Cassie, Titania. Shared Islands, Sauron, Omega Sentinel or Gallon, Fury, Apocalypse or Kitty Pryde, Gladiator, Valkyrie, or honestly Mojo. The next three, Dragon Man, Werewolf by Night, and Absorbing Man, Quicksilver, Cassie, or Titania. Gore, Wiccan, Rintraw, Tigra. Rintraw, I'd probably just go with Titania. Maybe you can get away with Valkyrie. Maybe. Yeah, probably can, actually. Just got to avoid that power gain. And then Kitty Pryde, Viv, or Omega Sentinel. Path 1, Terrax. Probably go with Wiccan or Tigra. Sorcerer Supreme, I would honestly use Quicksilver or Cassie, and honestly use Quicksilver for Void due to the large combo. The large count on his combo. How quickly he can cycle through 10. To remove debuffs from Void. But you can also probably just go with Fury or Mole Man and nuke it down. Or Shang-Chi. And then that Wiccan or Tigra or Rintraw you can use for Hulkling. You can also use Absorbing Man for the two Cosmics. Path 2, Herc, Tigra, Wiccan, Rintraw for Claire, Cassie, or Quicksilver, and then use either of those options for Silk, and then Black Cat or Valkyrie for Thing. Path 3, Section 1, probably go with Gallon or Hulkling. Then for Viv, bring Corvus or Nebula, and then use Hulkling for, honestly, use any of Hulkling or Gallon for Shuri, since you won't gain an armor up buff on that node. Path 4, probably Gallon or Hulkling for Section 1, and then in Section 2, Quicksilver or Cassie or Kate. You can take all of those two with those options. Path 5, Section 1, Quicksilver or Titania. And then Titania for Spidey, you can probably get away with Quicksilver. It's just a bit risky with the increased damage from debuffs. And then Jabari Panther or Fury for Spot, and then Path 6, you've got Shuri or Omega Sentinel for Domino, Cassie, Quicksilver, Titania for Mysterio, and then Cap, Sam, or Iron Man for Section 2. Path 7, I would probably go with Apocalypse or Omega Red for the two skill options, and then whoever you bring for Wong, Cassie, Quicksilver, or Titania to also use for G99. Tigra, Wiccan, or Rintraw for Path 8, and then bring Fury or Mole Man for Scorp. And then Path 9, you can get most of it down with Omega Red, or you can go with Absorbing Man for Null and Hulkling for Immortal Abomination, and then use Cassie or Quicksilver for Maw. So that does it for defense. Let's take a look at attack. All right, so final war of the season, I bring in Iron Man, Cap, Infinity War, and Omega Sentinel. I'm taking Path 6 in both sections. I end up taking 2 shared fights and taking 2 mini bosses. So first fight here, Omega Sentinel. There's a shared fight I can take with her as well. So I decided to go with that option against this Domino so that I have no changes to my ability accuracy. And And yeah, just keep this really simple. Wait out Lucky when it's up. Try and pause whatever debuffs I can. Not really focused on which weapon I'm keeping. Was hoping to get a heal block in there, but with Lucky and special attacks, ended up having to switch weapons to work in a pause. Here we just get 2 debuffs into the special 2. Prowess is up, so we get an additional plasma from it. And here I'm just going to focus on heavies while she's not Lucky. And then down she goes. So super easy. Cap against this Mysterio. Been enjoying him for this tactic when Silk is banned and I'm not actually feeling Titania. She rocks everything. But I prefer the practice of changing up options. And this is just a pretty simple parry heavy fight as we build the special 2. We bait out the special 1s if Mysterio is willing to throw it. And if he does, we try and parry everything that we can instead of triggering a dex. We have a slow up, so the unstoppable is not the worry with dex at the moment. But it's better, as I've said in past videos, to practice avoiding triggering dexterity so that if you are in a tight position or if you just straight up forget that slow isn't up, then you're at least covering all your bases. And here we are with special 2, doesn't crit, not a big deal. We go in, relic, heavy, done. Felt like a BG match there at the end, just full bum rush. Section 2, 2 mutants. Decided I wanted to practice and play around with Iron Man rework. So we're going to take Storm and Apocalypse here with Iron Man. Benefit here for this path is that he, forget the wording, but it'll pop up on the screen here. He removes prowess without actually calling it removal. So yeah, typical gameplay for Iron Man is build a special 2, get the arc reactor going, and then spam special 1, and then to the best of your abilities, parry a few special attacks to pause the armor ups so that you sustain or keep increasing your damage when you gain more armor ups, since the potency when duped affects how much damage he's going to do. So here we go to special 2. Triggers arc reactor. There it is, invalidate. That's what we're looking for. Try to parry a few there so we get the pause in. It's a long pause. I think it's 5 seconds. But it stacks as well, so that's a neat aspect of it. Our first special 1, see our basic attack damage goes way up, and then down goes Storm. So super easy fight there. Apocalypse, a tad bit trickier. Not technically trickier. It's more of the risk of failing to parry a special attack here and then getting nuked. But one sort of benefit here is if we aren't able to invalidate the prowess between special attacks and he goes unblockable, Iron Man can block unblockable special attacks against mutants. So same kind of deal here. Build the special 2, use the special 2. This is kind of a slower fight, mainly because I didn't know what special attack I wanted to prioritize. I can fully dex special 2, but once we get into Arc Reactor, fully dexing the special 2 doesn't really benefit Iron Man. So I would want to maybe get him to throw special 1s and parry those. I felt like it was less risk trying to parry a special 1 compared to a special 2. So here, full dex, no prowess build up. He took a bit to throw that, so we lose half of our armor ups, unfortunately. And that's going to hurt our damage, but we start building a few more here while we're still in arc. Well, while we still have the arc reactor up. And then we work in a parry on a special attack eventually here. I think it's with this next special 1. Never mind. We actually don't ever work it in. Iron Man just kind of bodies the whole fight. So he showed up. On to the shared fights. We're going to take this Kitty Pryde with a Mega Sentinel. You guys have seen me do this before. It's pretty basic. Build the special 3. I'm going to keep Cowardice placed so that she doesn't gain Prowess, so that we don't deal with any of her kit. And it's wait until we get the Poison Sting off. Special 3. Pause the 6 plasmas and just let her melt away. So pretty simple. I do not have a Viv. That's probably who I would have used here if I wanted to practice anything, since this is pretty basic. Now, however, I don't think she takes the next fight I take as well as Omega Sentinel does. And even still, I don't even think Omega Sentinel does it better than Gallon. So, special 3, let her melt away. Get the pause in there, ending with a light here. And this should do it. Down she goes. Last shared fight is the Sauron here on high energy diet, Burden of Might. We're going to place the heal block weapon. And the whole goal here really is just to keep the heal block up, so that we don't deal with Sauron going unblockable outside of his kit, which will happen with Reinvigorate and his own healing. So ideally, if I were taking this and it was a close war and we were shooting for actually winning it and everyone was focused on not dying, there would be a max recoil setup for Omega Sentinel here. But because that's not the war situation I'm in now, I just went in and nonchalantly took this Sauron because I have Omega Sentinel on the team. But due to Burden of Might, that's where Gallon would come into play. He'd just get ramped so quick. Sure, you deal with an unblockable Sauron, but you can probably manage that. Get into Harvest and just let it expire naturally. There, I was not paying attention. Did not realize he was going to go unblockable from his kit. So now the degen is trapped on me, and we get him down before we go down. The next fight I'm going to speed up a lot. It's a Sasquatch on MIA. He's very tanky. I'm taking it with Cap. There's a lot of just kind of waiting out Wrath due to power reserve. He doesn't lose power when he throws special attacks in Wrath. So you end up just against the wall with champions that don't power drain, waiting it out. So there are a couple times I think I'm worried that I don't have slow up. So I'm worried with the decks that I'm going to trigger Unstoppable. I think it only happens once, and I do kind of pay for it. There it is right there. But yeah, this was, wouldn't say tricky, just annoying. It's annoying to sit here, just kind of keep blocking, waiting for him to finish. And then once he's out of it, try to work our way off the wall. And I decided after the first special 2 that it was probably going to be better to heavy into special 3 to get the spacing. So now we're off the wall. Now we can kind of go back into this parry heavy while he's out of Wrath. Keeping the slow up in case we do Dex. And then once he goes back into Wrath, kind of deal with waiting it out. Hope that he throws some special attacks when it ends. We had a little more room to work with here, so I was actually able to work in a heavy. And then we get another special 3 off of a heavy. And then the next few heavy attacks should finish him off, no problem. And there we go. Last fight, I really shouldn't have taken. I wasn't going to fully heal. This node has brute force on it now, which is kind of annoying. And you're going to see here with Dani's animations and just not being able to parry, that it got annoying as soon as Dani got to special 1. And I can't hit into her block. So if I want to hit into her block to try and get a special attack, I have to make sure she doesn't have her illusion. Otherwise, we're going to miss. and then she's going to retaliate. You see here, it's fine. Special one time. Come on, get it out. No, no. Oh, accidental parry. Oh, stun got shrugged because we auto-blocked. We're getting hit with her Neuroshock and then bad intercept to get rid of brute force. So that was how the season ended. Kind of annoying. Like I said, I shouldn't have taken her. Wasn't worth it. But yeah, I think overview of the first season in Tier 4 Relaxed War, you know, it is the perfect situation for what I've got going on right now. It's low stress, was not worried about war at all with anything I did, wasn't worried about planning, wasn't worried about dying. Loyalty was going up like crazy because we weren't spending much of it at all, especially once I recovered from my last season in Tier 1. Yeah, I'd have to say this is the perfect alliance to be in for me at the moment. And BG's, it's been pretty nice kind of trying to push, quote unquote, push BG's for the first season ever. And I'm kind of excited about this season due to the tactic and whatnot. So yeah, overall, I'm happy with where I'm at, happy with the season. I'm glad I get some rewards instead of none, and I actually get to challenge myself. Obviously miss my buddies in SSX. But yeah, it's been nice. So I hope you guys enjoyed the season. Hit subscribe, give it a like, and I will catch you guys at the next war video.